Because who's the one to go?
Chris Bosh, probably.
Yeah, but Dwayne Wade is the one with the dodgy knees.
Dwayne Wade is a lifelong Miami Heat player, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you really?
Welcome back to the MVP podcast. I'm here with
No
Tariq.
sponsorships.
Yes.
No sponsorships.
No sponsorships. You're right. We're here with Sosa Sauce with the sauce. God damn. God damn. We need a sponsorship. Well, I really need a sponsorship, you know.
Yeah, real tough, fam. These episodes don't pay themselves.
I'm gonna have to chat to some people still, man. What are you guys saying, man?
Oh, good, bro.
In life without sports.
It's hard, man, I'm telling you.
Because schools has been closed down now, I'm gonna become the best NBA 2K player in the world.
But just, keep it calm and say, at least in your house. Or
I'm the only person in the house.
Yeah, exactly. Or at least, in your area.
In the area, in
no,
the
in the
city,
world.
just...
Have high expectations, man. Set the bar high.
In the world, because there are people who are quarantined that were already good before.
No, I
playing,
was
and now that's getting even better.
always good. I just never had time to play it properly, man. Oh, we're gonna see in it. We're gonna see in it.
I'm going to come over a lot anyway. So.
Yeah, come. I'll smoke you like I smoke everyone else. Do you know who's the funniest? Santana. He speaks dirt every year. Every NBA 2K that comes out, I'm gonna smoke it, this, that.
Yeah, he's always like that.
He'll always, every year, he'll have like a 15, 20 point lead,
Yeah.
and then I'll smack him in the second half. I'll do Golden State Warriors, third quarter, barrage, and then I'll always beat him at the end by like 15.
Yeah.
So Santana, if you're watching this, brother, I'm sorry.
Santana's always been trash, man. I'm telling you.
He watches this, man. He's going to be upset you guys said
You
that.
can watch this, man.
Shout out to him though,
Used
man.
to give him smoke in his house years ago, man. He knows this.
When he used to wear his jerseys in
man.
the Ron Williams. I'm gonna go back in time. We're gonna go back to 2013.
Not quite as far back, but far back.
NBA Finals, San Antonio Spurs, Miami Heat, Game 6. It's kind of like a rewatchables that Bill Simmons does. Can I start off by saying that Miami Heat team, first of all, they were the team that got me into the league. And two, was my favorite team of all time.
Yeah.
Their defense was,
Ever-
I used to...
Really?
Can you remember what I used to call it?
What, the defense?
Yeah.
No.
I used to call it swarm defense. Because they used to swarm everyone. And that was a proper small ball team, you know.
Yeah.
So, I think we should tell the people who played for that team, for that Miami Heat team, and also for that San Antonio Spurs team. This is 2013. So do you want to take the Miami Heat team?
The five, you can pick me up if I get anything wrong. But obviously LeBron, Wade, Bosh,
Yeah.
Mario Chalmers, my guy. Who was center? Was it Udonis Haslem or
It wasn't, no. Well, you
Joel
don't have
Anthony?
it. It was Anderson, the Birdman.
But he didn't.
Chris Anderson?
But he didn't start because they wanted to go smaller.
Bosh started.
So,
Yeah.
no, Bosh was always starts. But it was
sensible.
Mike Miller that started power forward.
Really?
Yeah, in the finals.
I don't remember
But
that, you know.
throughout the season, for the most part, they started with. That was the year that they officially moved
Bosh.
Chris Bosh to like full-time center. So they had a power forward. I think you might be right. I think Udonis Haslem at the start
Might
of the
be
year
UD,
was him. But then, obviously, as the season went on and it got more serious, then they've had to switch up. Even the bench, Shane Battier. That's the year that they signed Ray Allen.
Yeah.
The year that
'cause-
him and Kevin Garnett and Rajon Rondo and Poppers all fell out.
I always remember Mike Miller coming off the bench. Quite a lot, yeah.
And the reigning champions,
Norris Cole.
the reigning champions at the time were the Miami Heat team because LeBron won his first ring against OKC the year before. The reason why we decided to talk about this game in particular is because it's one of the biggest games in the history. It literally set LeBron James' legacy on course to being either the second or the best player at that time anyway. Obviously now the conversation is kind of over. But he was heading towards like the greats of all times. But he had to win that. He had to win that game. They were down 3-2, elimination game. They had to win.
Yeah.
And the San Antonio Spurs finished with they finished with the best. No, they didn't finish. Oh, that was the year where the playoffs was different. Can you remember the format?
Oh, what was it?
2 at home,
The finals,
three away,
you mean?
yeah. Two, not just in the playoffs in general. It was 2 at home, 3 away, and then the final 2 games were played by the team with the best record.
Oh, so is that why Miami
Yeah, it
was?
was.
I don't think so. No, only the finals used to be like that, and then they changed the finals to just be the same
Did
as all
they?
the other rounds. Yeah,
I thought all the rounds were like that.
no, because when Miami lost to Dallas, it's because Miami had home court advantage, but then Dallas had them 3 games at home, and won 2 of them.
Damn it.
So I think after that they changed it because it was the final was 2-3-2 format,
Yeah.
well as all the other rounds were just 2-2, 1-1-1.
2-2 on 1. Are
Yeah.
you 100% sure?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to check that one up.
Only the finals was ever 2-3-2.
Okay, but that finals was 2-3-2 as well.
Yeah.
That finals 2-3-2 as well. So Miami Heat had the last 2 games at home.
Mm.
They're down 3-2. It's game 6 now. LeBron is, although you got people are critical of him not being clutch.
Yeah.
When it comes down to elimination games, he's the best. At the time, he was averaging 31.5 points or something daft like that.
Yeah.
It's probably that record is even better now, probably because we know what he does in the playoffs nowadays. This guy will drop 40 on an elimination game. Now let's get to the meat of the conversation, right? It was the finals against San Antonio Spurs. And do you know what? When you really deep it, that team was stacked.
Let's go through that team.
Stacked. Okay, so you went through the Miami Heat team. So you can remember the San Antonio Spurs
So
team.
I have an idea. So we got Tony Parker. I think Ginobili started.
He did start, yeah.
Obviously, I've got Tim Duncan. Who else was there? I think it's Kawhi Leonard at small. Who else? Who's Diaw wasn't starting. Who's the power forward or center? Thiago Splitter started.
Thiago Splitter.
That means that Duncan's playing power forward then.
Not to be
Splitter
fair.
was a center. Unless he wasn't starting.
I mean, he was being marked by Bosch the whole time. I don't know if it was.
Yeah, but they were quite small. So I'm trying to think who else. Who did I miss? Danny Green didn't start that game.
He did.
He didn't start. He came off the bench.
But he was the starting shooting guard.
In that game,
Ginobili was always a 6th man.
Yeah, in that game, Ginobili started.
Okay.
I remember seeing his name on the T-shirt, so
Yeah,
he definitely started. Danny Green, I think he came off the bench.
I'm sure he came off the bench. I'm sure of it. And he as soon as he came on, he hit a 3 straight away. And that was the year that Danny Green basically absolutely obliterated the record for 3-pointers. Oh, I hated him so much.
That year, the year after.
It was that year. It was that year. Him and that guy, was it O'Neal? No. What was his name?
It was
now?
Gary Neal.
Gary Neal. Oh my God.
Listen, I'll never forget these guys, man. They broke my heart the year after.
Should we talk about the game itself?
Yeah.
There's 3-2. So if the San Antonio Spurs had won game, set, and match, LeBron doesn't get a second ring. And they showed this game on NBA TV. That's why you watched it. That's why a lot of people watched it. And that's I think
It was on
that's where
YouTube,
the idea came from in the first place to actually talk about this. But LeBron said after that was like, they asked him, what was your mentality going into the game? And he said, we knew that if we didn't win that game, that Pat Riley was going to break up the team.
That's heavy.
That is heavy. Because who's the one to go?
Chris Bosh, probably.
Yeah, but Dwayne Wade is the one with the dodgy knees.
Dwayne Wade is a lifelong Miami Heat player, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you know what I mean?
Who would you get rid of? Who would you get rid of?
Honestly, I probably Bosch would be the one to be moved.
Yeah, it'd have to be Bosh.
I thought I'd get rid of Dwayne Wade. Do you know why?
That is massive.
No. This is no knock on what Dwayne Wade can do. Dwayne Wade is an all-time great.
Yeah.
Arguably the third best shooting guard of all times after Michael and Kobe, right? So there's no knock on. I'm not saying that. But if you guys can remember the season after that, they lost to the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah.
And I said the reason why San Antonio Spurs won that game was because Dwayne Wade was injured the whole series. And he was injured in this series as well. And he's been dealing with injuries, knee injuries, from the moment that LeBron set foot in Miami. So I'm saying get rid of him, not because he's out of the 3 the worst. He's not. But he's the one with the dodgy knees.
You know
that
what?
Wouldn't last.
It would also make sense because you want someone to provide spacing for LeBron. And
he doesn't provide any spacing whatsoever.
And exactly, for all the guys that you've got on the team, it's like, okay, he's the superstar.
Sure. Shall we make that the starting point of the conversation then? Is the way that the Miami Heat played. Because I think the reason why they didn't play as well as they did was because the 2 key ball handlers couldn't do anything on the perimeter.
Couldn't, but the game wasn't that focused on the perimeter back then.
Yeah,
But
it's a different time at in 2013.
Yeah, but I understand that, but you can't say that it wasn't when the majority of the players on that team were all 3-point shooters. They Mike Miller, Shane Battier, Chris Bosh, Ray Allen, Norris Cole, Mario Chalmers. These are all very good 3-point shooters. And a lot of the plays that they ran was all with the ball being in LeBron James's hand, quick pick and roll, go in, and then hit the pass to the 3-point shooter. So I don't think it's fair to say that they weren't focused on 3-point shooting. I think they
wasn't
were.
That big. It was. That's when ISO ball was at its biggest. That's why they could give it to LeBron, give it to Dwayne Wade.
Well, either way.
Each of them can make plays.
Either way, I thought when the ball was in their hands, I didn't feel like there was like. I felt like every play was broken.
You know, if watching the game
every
back,
play was broken.
There was a lot of pick and roll.
Yeah,
like a lot of pick and roll.
And it's quick pick and rolls. Like it's like they'll get around the screen and LeBron will make a quick pass. And obviously LeBron, we know, is arguably one of the best passers of all times. Yeah. So that's good. But do you know when, like in those first 3 quarters where LeBron James genuinely struggled, and there were times where Boris Diaw was like 2 feet away from him, daring him to shoot. Bro, when you're the best player in the world, you cannot let that happen.
They were going underneath, so far underneath screens. I was looking at it like, if this was played like today, like people like that guy would get subbed out the team so quickly,
instantly,
so quickly. And it's like, obviously this is NBA Finals. Like the rate at which the NBA has changed in 8 years is ridiculous. Like the fact that now it's like you don't leave your man. Like if there's shooters on the perimeter, people will stay out wide and they won't help one pass away.
Yeah.
Like this NBA, like from what you said, this NBA Finals that we saw was, I think you said this before. This was like a chess game.
Yeah.
And it was like, yo, they make a move. Okay, it's their possession. Let's see how they move the team.
Yeah, but I felt, you know what? Although I do agree, it was like a chess game, and I never gave Spoelstra enough credit. I really didn't. I always felt like he was just as good as his best players, really.
Yeah.
But he did a job. Like, generally, he did a job. I came to appreciate him like later on in the Big 3 Miami Heat period. But when you say playing chess, I always felt like San Antonio Spurs were always 1 or 2 steps ahead. They were always 1-2 steps. Their open looks were always clear open looks. And obviously, give it to Tim Duncan down low, and he's going to get you buckets. Yeah. But I never felt like every time, like I said earlier, every time the Miami Heat would start their offense, it just never looked good.
It never looked good. That's because of like the chemistry Spurs built up for years. That took a long time.
Yeah,
like,
but they had a sophomore in Kawhi Leonard on that team, though.
But it's like they knew the system, they knew what they were running, and everything just worked. True. And obviously, Pop, compared to Spoelstra, is obviously way ahead in terms of experience and what he was
especially
doing.
At that time.
Yeah, and these guys, they'd won championships before, so they knew exactly what they were doing. That's why they were always a couple of steps ahead, whereas Miami was still, they were trying to figure Spurs out, where Spurs were just playing their game. That was the difference.
Do you know which play made me realize that they're just playing exactly how Pop wants them to? It's because they did this screenplay where they get the ball handler. Let's say this is the 3-point line, and Manu Ginobili's here, so he gets the screen set for him to go to the corner, and without there being anyone on the other side of the corner, he just swooped a ball around everyone, and it went out of play, but Danny Green was there
and just caught it.
But Danny Green was there after the pass was made.
So he ran into the.
So he ran in. So basically, that was literally the play was designed. He didn't. This is how, like you said, right? It's like they were set up a lot better. Is that he made the pass knowing that Danny Green was going to be there.
Yeah.
So he literally, and we're talking about he had to wrap his hand, the ball around the defender. The ball is out of bounds technically, and he just curled it around everyone. But it's just that Danny Green at the time couldn't catch it. It kind of went through his hands and it went out. That was, even I was like, and I think you're 100% right, is they trusted the system so much that they could make a play like that without even, they trusted it. So he knew Danny Green was going to be there. Made the pass one time.
Yeah, it's weird again, because of that game, they made a lot of turnovers. They were performing really well, but they just kept on doing some silly.
Yeah, but that's because the Miami Heat team's
Their
defense.
defense was ridiculous.
Yeah, give them credit, man.
Swarm defense.
No matter how good your offense is,
the switches, it didn't matter what it was. Quick switch, and they're always like all over you. It's like they wouldn't give you any breathing space.
Yeah.
They knew it's the playoffs. They're not gonna call quick fouls, so it's literally like here, they're in your face, and you're trying to make a pass, but the hands are all over, constantly moving. It's so easy to make a mistake when you're panicking, especially in a situation like that.
But I'll be honest, there weren't even that many mistakes.
They had loads of turnovers.
Other than turnovers, but I'm just saying, like
actual
nothing really
mistakes.
careless.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
From both teams, and it's like any mistake would be punished as well. So every possession just mattered. Like even like when I watch the game now, I feel tense. So watching the game was tense.
It is 100%.
Now LeBron James went on a daft fourth quarter. Yeah, and the whole series was about runs. So when I rewatched it, like the commentators were like, like every game there was a significant run that the winner eventually made towards the end. So like mid third quarter in all the games before that, the first 5 games, it's like halfway through the third quarter, it's quite close, but then one team will go on a stupid run.
Yeah.
One game is San Antonio, next game is Miami, and it's the same in this game, but in this game the difference was LeBron. He went on a daft.
Yeah, he outscored the San Antonio Spurs by himself.
But what do you make of this whole? Well, but LeBron, although he did get them to that point, he also nearly lost them the finals. What do you make of that?
What you mean in regards to his shooting?
Yeah, so he did all of that to get them back into the game. They were losing by 3 at the time, and obviously he's the reason why they got into that position in the first place. But he's been getting crucified. Even up to this day, gets crucified for not being clutch. Basically, not finishing off chances at the end. And he took the massive 3 that he missed. Now, we'll talk about what happened afterwards. But let's say, what do you make of him missing the shot? Are you in the camp of, well, Miami Heat would have never even been in the game if he didn't get there? Or are you in the camp of, well, it doesn't matter because he did all of that for nothing because he ended up missing anyway? Like, which camp are you in? Do you credit him for doing what he did? Or do you fault him for missing that last shot?
I've got to credit him more for getting him to that point. I'll criticize him for the shot itself because it was way off. Like, he missed the rim completely. I'll criticize him for like the quality of the shot. The shot wasn't good enough. Like, if you're going to miss, hit the rim or just try and get a quality look. So he kind of forced it. But you've got to credit him for putting him in that position. Because, like, as you said, San Antonio was so good. To just even make a comeback like that and carry the team on your back against a team that's that good and have defended him so well. Because, like you said before, he didn't even really have a good game.
No.
Like, his numbers might have been good, but overall, like, he wasn't that efficient. They defended him well. He had some poor turnovers. So for him to, at that moment, get him back into it. Because clutch is not just making the last shot. It's the last 2 minutes of the game. Like, putting yourself in a position to win it. And he dragged them back into that. So you've got to credit him more, I think, than for criticising him. But the shot he took was terrible, though. And he got bailed out.
Well, the possession before, he made that 3. So you can ask the same question.
But even that 3, he missed it initially. He got the rebound.
He got the rebound and made it. You can say the same thing about that. Like, there's going to be cases of missing and making shots. That happens in basketball. Sometimes you can have the greatest shooter take a shot and miss it. It can happen. But obviously, you just got to take those chances when you can. The fact that he didn't make it, he has teammates that were able to help him.
That's what they're there for.
That's exactly what they're there for. You don't win a team by yourself. You don't win a team. You don't win a game by yourself. You need a team.
But at the same time, I do tweet very, like, if we're just looking at it from a really awkward angle, I still think that he bottled it a little bit at the end.
What could he have done differently?
What could he have done differently? There's not much. Obviously, the difference is either you make the shot or you don't. That's
Exactly.
There's nothing else you could have done. They were down by 3, right? But if we lived in a world where nothing happened after that and the San Antonio Spurs got the rebound and Pop didn't mess up and bench Tim Duncan, who had 15 rebounds at that point anyway, like Chris Bosh couldn't do anything against him, right? Let's say we live in a universe where Tim Duncan actually played and got the rebound. Legacy gone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The only reason why we can say that is because we know what the outcome was at the end. But the fact remains, Pop messed up by not having Tim Duncan in the game, and had Tim Duncan gotten that rebound, or Thiago Splitter got the rebound, or anyone that's at least above 7 foot, man, that could have killed him. He might have asked to leave Miami himself.
It's a make or miss league, baby.
It is a make or
That's what
miss.
they say.
But that's why I say it's not as easy. It's not as simple as saying, well, you got your players to back you. You do, of course you do. But that miss was so huge. That miss was huge. He just got lucky. So what happened at the end? What happened? What did actually happen? After
Rebound, Bosh. Out to Real.
Back out to Allen. His 3-pointer.
Bang!
that was the greatest shot of all time. So they basically did the whole commentary of it. But what happened was Chris Bosh got the rebound when LeBron missed and managed to get it to Ray Allen, who took 2 quick steps back and hit the dirtiest 3 ever.
Didn't he say, I practiced those shots?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my God. He said what he does is he lies down, doesn't he? He lies down, jumps up, runs to 3-point line, and then take the shot straight away. Like, they practice. Kobe used to say it all the time. May he rest in peace. It's like every possible shot that you can think of, I've took about 1 million of them so that I can never get caught out. 3 defenders around me, practiced. 2 defenders around me, practiced. Am I falling out of bounds, hitting a 3? Practiced. All these players, like they perfect their craft, and none other than Ray Allen, who spent hours.
He had crazy routines, man.
Yeah.
Like, to the point where, like, he was OCD at some point with some of the stuff he was doing. He had routines that he couldn't break. Like, he would come like 3 hours before a game. Like, these shots that he would practice constantly. Every routine, like, he couldn't stop anything. He couldn't go into a game without doing all these set routines that he had. He was crazy, man. You can see why.
And it's like shots like that.
Yeah.
Like, do you know how good you need to be to not be bothered by the defenders in a situation like that?
With the crowd.
With the crowd screaming. You, never mind that. Whenever I'm playing basketball, and it's not often, right? But when I do, if I see someone running towards me, they're not even in front of me. I can feel their presence. So I can't even shoot like as calmly as I can. Obviously, they're professionals, so obviously I can't compare myself. But what I can say is that it affects you. Just having people around you affects you.
Yeah.
But then when you're in the finals, knowing that shot is going to get you level, knowing that you need to make the shot, and you see 3 defenders running to you, and you have to take 2 steps back. Oh, credit to him, man. Credit to him on hitting the greatest shot of all times.
Never gets old, man. Tell you.
That shot will never get old.
I was watching it live. I could never ever forget.
I didn't watch it live.
I was watching it, yeah.
You were.
Yeah.
I was in the kitchen the next morning watching it. I was making food. Literally, I can remember. And when he hit the shot, I screamed and my mum shouted at me. She really did.
I remember it was like 5 a.m. I was just sat there. Even when I got to the end and I thought it was over, just like, cause I was obviously Miami Heat fan at the time.
Yeah.
I was just watching, I like just froze. I was so disappointed. I was like, I can't believe we lost this. And then all that just happened. It was, I remember I screamed. It's 5 a.m. People are sleeping. I'm just loud. Some scream came out. Something came out. I couldn't believe it. I didn't realize people are sleeping, man. Oh, I can never ever forget that moment, man.
Now, it did end up going to overtime, and it ended on a Chris Bosh block.
Yeah.
To end the game, and they won it, and then they went to the finals. Not finals, sorry. They went to the final game, Game 7, and again it ended on not a Chris Bosh block, but it ended up on a Chris Bosh. Like, he challenged Tim Duncan enough for him to miss, although he hadn't missed nothing that whole game.
Oh, but he still should have made it, and he missed a tip.
He missed a tip afterwards as well. Yeah. So Chris Bosh, although he really didn't do much in that series, and he's still the reason why we ended up winning. I said we.
You guys have said we the whole time.
Yeah, I kept saying we.
You never Miami Heat.
I'll still say we, man.
Because in that moment,
LeBron is on.
No, but it's not even about that. In that moment, I wanted Miami Heat to win so badly. That is my team. That is the team. I've never enjoyed watching basketball as much as I enjoyed watching that team. Win or lose.
I guess.
Win or lose. That team was unbelievable.
You mentioned Chris Bosh. I'm sure he didn't score in the Game 7 or something. At 1 point.
No, 0 points. 0
yeah,
points.
See?
0 points. He had no point
He
whatsoever.
could not make a shot to save his life.
No.
But he played unbelievable defense.
Not all of that. Not all of that.
At times, man. At
like
times he was so good.
He bothered Tim Duncan but Tim Duncan always made his shots.
That's Tim Duncan, man.
Yeah, and you know what's so
Mr.
funny?
Fundamentals.
Yeah.
His facial expression never changed.
Yeah.
He got elbowed once in the face. Basically, he caught the ball. This was game 6 as well.
Yeah.
He caught the ball. He was gonna make a shot, but he got fouled. And then obviously, I think it was Mauro Chalmers that tried to get a block on him, but the whistle went. But his momentum carried him, and he kind of caught him in the face. Any other player would have been like, ah. He just kind of went like that, and he just carried on.
Guys,
That's
he's
Tim
a
Duncan,
robot,
man.
man.
That's Tim
But
Duncan in a
before you
nutshell.
finish, you mentioned Mario Chalmers. Can we just give him a shout out? Because
100%.
he was huge, man. I'm
He
telling
was
you.
massive.
Yeah, he was really impressive.
Massive. Can we give a shout out to Mike Miller as well? He hit the shot without the shoe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He hit the shot without the shoe.
Oh, this-
And a shout out to sophomore Kawhi Leonard. Second year in the
Yeah.
league and ended up with 20 plus points. And he looked comfortable.
Apart from
Man, we should have known he was going to be a superstar.
that free throw, that just pressure, just you could tell, man. He was,
Yeah, for those of you that are not
few
sure,
people must-
right at the end of the game, he had 2 free throws. Had he made both of them, the game would have been
You
dead.
could have said that about
But he
Ginobili
missed.
as well.
yeah, true. The
Ginobili was
pressure,
fresh
man.
as well.
That shows about how young you are, how old, how many games you've played.
Yeah,
The pressure at that moment
Crazy.
gets to you, man.
crazy. Anyway, guys, we're going to have to put a stop to it there. Guys, thank you so much for watching.
If you like the video, guys. Don't forget to share, subscribe if you're new, press the bell notification so you can keep up to date with our videos so you don't never miss one. But yeah.
And we're going to be back again soon. So, peace.